We all love signing Wonderkids in Football Manager, but sometimes you think you've found a really good player, and for some reason they just don't do very well in the in-game engine. I'm looking at you, Marcus Leonardo. So we thought today we're going to try and solve all of your problems. We're going to show you 11, a full team of the most overpowered Wonderkids in FM24. What do we mean by overpowered Wonderkids? Well, we're looking for those players that have those attributes that really just seem to work in the in-game engine this year, whether it's pace, acceleration, strength, jumping reach, or those players that have a nice mix of everything, and in some cases, just those guys that just seem to work in-game. It's all based on my own experience with the players, so you guys might not agree, but I think if you signed any of these 11 players, you'd be absolutely loving life. Now, first thing to note, I have tried to avoid giving the obvious names, and I've also tried to avoid giving players that are a bit too expensive. There's some that might be 10, 50 million, but some that will only cost you a couple million. That way, hopefully, we'll have something for every single save. All of these are top players, but I think most of them you won't know. So with that being said, let's kick off this list. And we start off with a goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is always the worst position for me to talk about because I find them so boring in-game. But there's a few this year where the players are actually almost ready for first team football straight away. Take Grestes out at Toulouse, he is already ready, but we spoke about him in enough videos, I didn't want to put him in today. We've also covered Kasper Tobias of Legia Warsaw, who's a very good cheap sweeper keeper option, but recently I've really been liking Rome Jaden Owusu-Odoro. Maybe it's because his name is so hard to pronounce, maybe it's because he's got great attributes and only costs you 7 or 8 million at AZ Alkmaar. They currently have Matthew Ryan in goal, so there's a good chance that Odoro won't ever really get the chance to play or develop in your FM saves, even though he has had some appearances in real life for them. But if you keep a scout on him, you might see that he becomes available, or maybe try and sign him straight away and give him that chance to develop. At age 19, he's obviously not ready to play at the highest level yet, but with a little bit of growth, he could be a championship level goalkeeper in season 1 or 2. Keepers tend to develop a little bit later in their career, but by the time he does, he is one of the best Wonderkid goalies in game and could definitely play Premier League football, future Netherlands international. All of that stuff fits the bill for Owusu-Odoro here, so if you're after a keeper, he's a very good one I've had success with. Now this is an absolute beast of a centre-back that isn't being spoken about enough, and maybe it's because most people don't get the chance to sign him, because very early on, usually the big clubs, Real Madrid, PSG, Manchester United seem to be often linked in Game 2, want to get this guy. This is Junior Mwanga of Strasbourg, who has only recently joined the club, but usually by the end of the first season, there is plenty of interest in him, and he will make a move. Now he's usually valued at around this price, £15 million or so. In some saves, I've seen him cost 20 or 30, because he does develop very quickly for Strasbourg, and that's because at age 20, he's already a regular starter for the team, which means he's going to see some big developments as he is getting that first team football. He's very good physically, a nice all-round player, but he's also really good defensively, and he's got great ball playing aspects too, with 13 passing and 15 vision, really nice work rate too, a brilliant ball playing defender who can also put in a shift in defensive midfield. He's good with both feet, but is ideally right-footed. Either way, you can't go wrong. 10-15 million for this kind of player. He is guaranteed to go right to the very top, and often it won't take long before he gets there. I've given you 2 of the 11 players in today's list, but before we continue, I'm going to ask you guys to do me a massive favour. If you could, go on the video, smash the like button for us. It really will help us out, and let us know in the comments your favourite Wonderkids in terms of just performance in game. I don't mean how their attributes look, I want to hear who's performed the best for you. That way we'll have a list in the comments either for us to talk about in future videos, or just for people to have a look at and find some great recommendations from you guys. Make sure as well, if you haven't already, you are subscribed to the channel as we push for 180k subscribers. With that being said, the plug is done. Let's get back to the list, where we have Braga's tough tackling Serdar Saci here, who's a Turkish under-21 international, wanted by 3 Premier League clubs, and you can see why. This guy near enough always develops into a top tier centre-back. Maybe doesn't quite push world class because of his potential, but in most saves he will be at one of the best teams in Europe, just not quite one of the standout centre-backs in the world. The reason that he always does so well is because his starting attributes are great, and he's going to get pretty early first team football at Braga, even though he is classed as a breakthrough prospect. He's a good ball playing defender, but also is really good in the tackle, nice and aggressive too. His physicals are also very strong, which might explain his great performances in game, because he's quick, good in the air, or at least fairly decent in the air, whilst being very strong. Having a mix of all 3 means that most attackers are going to struggle against him, because he can match them for pace, strength and aerial ability. Combine that with the aggression, tackling and the ball playing ability ability, and you have a very good centre-back for 12, 13, 14 million pounds or so, he is another no-brainer. Up next is an Irish fullback playing in Italy, and I think you'll see straight away why I like this player so much. This is Festi Ebosele, who plays for Udinese, and will usually cost you 15 to 20 million, but is wanted by PSG in this save, which shows you the levels that this guy has. He's already a regular starter for the Serie A club at age 20, and there's a reason why he's so good in game. The right back has the pace and the acceleration that maybe only Usain Bolt could counteract. This guy is so fast, but because he is fast, you usually think his attributes must be terrible, and whilst they're not great, he does have good long throws, he's a good dribbler, nice in the tackle as well, maybe isn't the best on the ball, but 11 passing, 11 crossing isn't the worst in the world, and he can definitely work on that over the next few years. The guy likes to knock balls past opponents as well. That's a great trait to have for a pacey player. He's someone that's just going to bomb down that right-hand side, cause a nightmare for anyone that's up against him. If you like having fullbacks being an integral part of your system, getting forward Jeremy Frimpong style at Bayer Leverkusen, then Festi Ebosele could be a good pickup for you. A man that's been phenomenal in Football Manager for the last few years at a bargain price is Arden Yashari of Luzern out in Switzerland. Now this guy is a central midfielder who can also play defensive midfielder with international experience, age 20, valued at around 6 million quid. And that's why the likes of PSG are interested in him here, and often you will see him move to Chelsea, Manchester United, those kind of clubs that are looking to stockpile on youth, because Yashari represents great value for money at that kind of price. He's fantastic in many an area, isn't the best tackler, but if you're looking for a forward-thinking midfielder, which is why I prefer him in central midfield as opposed to defensive midfield, then I think he's a great player for you. Mezzala on the attack, left-footed, coming in off that left-hand side, hitting a long shot, dribbling past an opponent, putting a cross in, great mental attributes, really good physicals and technicals too. Is he the world's best? Will he be the world's best central midfielder? No, but if you pick him up for 6 or 7 million, guarantee you 3 years time you'll sell him to Saudi Arabia for 50, 60 million quid. A guaranteed superstar, getting signed up, a fantastic midfielder in game. The next two players we're going to look at are guys that I've had massive experience with myself on my channel, which conveniently, if you want to check it out, you can find it linked in the description below. Every week I do a Football Manager rebuild over there, where in a space of 25 to 30 minutes I spend 5 seasons at a club trying to improve them and getting them to a trophy. And in those saves I have been known to sign both of these players that we're going to look at from the French divisions. The first one is another Strasbourg player. This is Habib Diarra, who surprisingly enough to me is valued at 2 million quid at the start of this save. The reason I say that is because usually I see him when he's 3 or 4 years in, 21, 22 years of age, and at that point he's usually a 30, 40 million pound player. So to be able to pick him up for this kind of fee, I think you need to get it done. Now he's been at Strasbourg for a long time, was in their first team a lot last season, but for some reason the game only classes him as a breakthrough prospect, but that won't last long because he's got great attributes all around, a real workhorse in the midfield. Not the best goal scorer, not the best tackler, but a real good passer of the ball with nice dribbling as well. He's only 19 here. By the time he's 20, 21, he'll have had a lot of improvement, and I guarantee you he'll be a great addition to your midfield. But a player that I consider slightly better than him, but is a bit more expensive, is Lamine Camara of Metz in the French divisions. 10 million quid is the most you'll have to pay for a 19-year-old Senegalese international. A true all-round midfielder, Lamine Camara has everything in his game, from defensive ability to attacking ability. Is he the world's best in any area? No, but he can do everything at a good level. If you're after a box-to-box midfielder, a profile that's very hard to come by, Lamine Camara is one of the best. Already an international, already got great attributes. You know he's going to grow at Metz because he's going to play a lot of football, so get a scout on him and try and sign him as early as possible. Moving up the pitch, and we have an attacking midfielder now, and this is a player that for me might be my favourite in the list in terms of just in-game performances. Kanuzen is absolutely phenomenal. Playing for Nuremberg in the 2nd division of Germany, this £7 million 17-year-old Turkish attacking midfielder is someone that we've dedicated a whole video to here on the channel, and there's a reason why, because he is fantastic in so many areas. But if you use him, I promise you, as a shadow striker, with the good left and right foot that he has, with the attributes that he has, this guy will do wonders. He is phenomenal in the attack, can score, can create chances, can dribble past a player with 16 dribbling as well. well, and he's only 17, looking better than a lot of the players we've looked at age 20, age 19. If he was playing for Bayern Munich, he'd be 50 or 60 million. The fact he's at Nuremberg is the reason he's so cheap, so make sure you get in there and sign him as soon as possible. For a similar fee, you can pick up 19-year-old Sassuolo Italian player Cristian Volpato. He has recently joined the club from Roma, so you won't be able to sign him straight away, but give him a chance, let him develop there for a little bit, then come in and try and steal him from Sassuolo. For that fee, you cannot go wrong. This guy says breakthrough prospect, but is probably going to be one of Sassuolo's best players. Great creative ability, 15 passing, 14 vision, and 16 technique, combined with great first touch, dribbling ability, corners. He's got great flair, and whilst his physicals do have some issues, and so do his mentals, overall, he's a very good option for so young. A left-footed player, is also natural on the right, is very versatile as well. Cristian Volpato is a great option for you. 2 players to go, and this one is 20-year-old Facundo Farias. A lot of the players we are focusing on are in that 19, 20 years of age bracket, because of course those players are a little bit more guaranteed in terms of what you're getting in game, so you know they're going to perform well regularly, and that's what we're looking for in today's video. Facundo Farias at Inter Miami is a fantastic option, learning under the best. Lionel Messi, Alba, Suarez, Busquets, he is going to learn how to play football at the highest of levels. He's only going to cost you a couple million, and he's already fantastic technically, probably one of the best we've seen technically in this video. Great mentals as well, really good mentals actually, and whilst his physicals do lack a little bit, he makes up for it in those other areas. Now, he was signed from Cologne, now he's back at the side in the MLS. I'm sure he'll get game time. It says squad player, I think he'll play more than that. Then it's your time to swoop in, steal him for your club, and you will see some top performances. And finally, we have Yohan Bony, who is a player that tears it up in the in-game engine this year. Age 19, the Frenchman is playing for Parma in the Italian divisions. He's going to cost you about 6 or 7 million, but the reason he's so good is he's big, he's quick, he is strong, and he is tall. You've got everything that you want from a forward player. On top of that, his attributes aren't too bad when it comes to his technicals. Is he the world's best with the ball at his feet? No, but he can dribble, can finish pretty well, really well-rounded mental attributes too. For this kind of fee, this guy is an absolute must-have in your saves if you see him available. He's still in the second division here, so it's a good time to pick him up, because if you don't, he's going to move to a big club, and then he might be untouchable at that point. If you're after someone with that Haaland build, he's not quite there, Yohan Bony, but if you're after a cheap alternative, he can be a great signing. With that being said, there is 11 of my favourite overpowered Wonderkids in FM24. Let me know in the comments your favourites. Like the video if you enjoyed. I've been Jake for FMSCOUT, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.